Another component of our program is the University of Family Learning. So aside from the Family Engagement Centers, we also have a catalog that has 4 focus areas in which schools can select workshops and trainings that are most relevant to their families. What are the needs in your community? Because we know that not every shoe fits everyone, right? We're very different, and we need to be able to adjust to the needs and have that response to need. So depending on the community, a school employee may say to our liaison, our families are struggling with they're talking to us a lot about not knowing how to start a conversation with their child. Do you have a workshop in that area? So then the school staff member can come to this catalog and they can select a workshop, and then we come out and we present the workshop at their school location. So what I showed you earlier was how we implement it at a learning hub divided throughout the district. And then this is how we do it at all schools. So it's mobile learning that we go to the community and present. So there are different topics. This lives on our website, which is engage.ccsd.net. If you want to take a look at that, if you download it, just know that it does change because we have to make adjustments to it occasionally. So that's our University of Family Learning, over 100 workshops. We have an elementary one and we have a secondary one that is also available to our secondary schools. The goal with family engagement is, of course, to try to get them early. So we find that the elementary school families are more active in a lot of these opportunities, but the need is great in secondary. It's just, communication and marketing is always kind of the trick there with getting that information to them. And then we also offer digital content. This is so that schools and families can access. So knowing that we need to open access to families and ensure that we're inclusive of the ways that different learners may want to engage, the digital content is available. One thing I didn't mention about the presentations that we do that are always linked to learning is that we also provide it in English and Spanish. So we have simultaneous translation provided by our interpreters. Parents wear the headsets and everything is done in English and Spanish, as well as our videos are available in English and Spanish. So we have different videos depending on the need. We're expanding this because we could always use more videos and content, because schools will use it to facilitate conversations. So they'll say, we're gathering some parents and we would love to have a session on how to cope with coping strategies. And then here's a video. They can, play it, pause, and work through that system. And so then we have family resources available, of course, on our website, and they're also available at the centers, and we provide them when we go out into the community. We also offer weekend events, as we were talking about the fact that we need to open up access. We just recently had a family academy. We have 4 of those a year. We have 8 weekend events, but these 4 specifically are called family academies. The family academies are, of course, linked to learning. They are, in essence, a mini conference for parents, where the parents come, they gather, and we start with a resource fair to build community and to provide resources to families. So families come in, we have, like a horseshoe look, resource tables, depending on the theme. So our first theme was navigating the school system. This last one was social emotional learning. And so the partners that are in that horseshoe resource fair are related to that topic. So social emotional learning, we had representation from all different organizations that have some type of resource that families can connect to. It was very impactful. Just the stories and people coming up and talking to you personally about the impact of having the opportunity to gather this information was hugely rewarding to us as a department. But and then, so after they do their resource fair, we have workshops that the families can attend. And the workshops, there's a section that is families learning together, meaning so the adult family member can bring their child with them and they learn together. Our presenters and our community partners are well versed in best practices of family engagement, so they understand that when you're doing family engagement with parents and children, you always embed the learning, the why behind the reason you're doing the activity. So the child's involved in the activity and the presenter will explain why we do this in this way. And so it's very actively, they're active, they're moving around because they have their kids. The other option at this family academy is to do it where adults learning on their own. So we provide childcare. That thankfully we have partners that assist us with that. We have childcare, so the parent can drop off their child in the childcare section while they go and learn on their own without distraction of their child. And then those adult sessions may have a little more content and a little, I mean, they're still engaging, of course, but they're just not as, the little kid part of it. And so they're wonderful because it really does offer different opportunities for different families, and they are hosted on Saturdays. Every workshop is also has a translator in the room, so they're available there to have the headset. So, and then we have 4 community events. There's 3 on there because we already did one. We have 4 community events, and those are still linked to learning because we know best practices of family engagement. It must be linked to learning, but in this model, it is more community building while linking it to learning. So I'll give you an example. The Lorenzi Park event, it is a massive resource fair, but we asked all of our partners to engage in some type of connection to learning with the outdoors. So gross motor activities or scavenger hunts or, so we had like a museum come and they had binoculars for kids to look at the different bird species in the park. We had a YMCA partner who had hopscotch with sight words, something where the parents getting information about your organization, but you're also highlighting the fact that we need to take care of the whole child and the whole family when it comes to looking at those opportunities to take learning from school into real life and doing it in our own homes, in our own environments. It was an amazing event. We had over it's probably because it was hard to count at the park, but we did have a check-in spot. We counted with the check-in about 700 families that came, and it was truly amazing. So that's the other offering we have. And then of course we do also staff development trainings for the district. And we offer that. We develop the curriculum and then we offer the training. So we present to schools. We tailor it to whatever the school needs are if needed. Otherwise, we have some canned ones. But that's something else that we use. So I had mentioned, tell me when I'm sure on time here, Tom.
You're good.
Okay. I had mentioned that we add the social emotional learning piece to what we do in our family engagement centers. We do have the English for adults, and we have found that using the SEL component, of the Harmony curriculum has been amazing. because during a meetup, you're able to build community. You're able to discuss what are the norms, what are the expectations, how do we respect and engage, and then they take that and apply it at home. So we're doing it with the adults, but then they turn around and they're doing it with their kiddos. Buddy up is also another way for them to be able to talk to one another. And our staff in the family engagement centers are using it to have them practice talking to one another and to get a sense of connection, because parents need to know that they're not alone, that it can be really difficult and it takes a village, and it's okay to sometimes feel depressed, and sometimes it's okay to feel that you've worked so hard but you're still feeling defeated or deflated, and so this opportunity has really helped. So although a lot of it is written in the sense of the classroom teacher for her classroom students, we have found it to be very beneficial and impactful with our adults. And then just recently we had a staff training and using the connection cards. So I just have to tell you really quick, and this is an amazing piece of it, because now this is all digital. And you can select, I'm gonna turn off the music because it can be annoying sometimes. But there's conversations, collaborations, and community builders, and you can choose them. Our staff is using, like I said, with the adults, so the conversation, but they're fun. They are so fun. It's kind of like the staff meetings when they're doing icebreakers, and everyone hates an icebreaker, but as soon as it starts to be fun and everyone's laughing, you're like, okay, I get it now. I know why this is good. And it really does break down barriers. It breaks down barriers of families, because you don't have to speak the language. You don't have to be the same in any, socioeconomically, in any way, shape, or form. You can be very different and still engage through something that is building that confidence and that motivation to engage with our schools. But it builds that trusting environment, of course. So just to give you an idea of some of it, pass a smile around the circle. We just did this one, and it was hilarious because of the personalities that come out. So that's what they're doing in their family engagement centers when it comes to social emotional learning, is kind of basing it around, how do I talk to my kids? How do I build those, strengthen the family dynamics? After the pandemic, I know that many of our students and families felt disengaged or disconnected from their own children. And let's face it, with the digital age that we're in now, we don't engage as much with our face-to-face. Kids have lost the sense of eye contact and having conversations. And how was school? It's fine. What'd you do? Nothing. So this helps really kind of build. And what do I ask? How do I talk to my kids? So truly the culture of engagement is vital. It is not a strategy. It is a belief system, and it is something that has to be cultured into every practice of a school community. I was an assistant principal, and my principal, I thankfully was absolutely amazing, rock star, and we had the same philosophy when it came to building community. And it has to be cultured. It is everybody's responsibility from the moment a parent walks through the front door. One of my favorite things that we did was to do a school walk with our SOT here. It's a school organizational team, which is in essence your PTA, PTO, that type of organization. We did a school walk. We started in the parking lot. We all had clipboards and paper. And what does it sound like? What does the school feel like? What are some of the things you've noticed? Because really we have to have that sense of awareness, because we may not even know. Messaging is huge. So if your signage in the front office is telling you everything that the school will not do for you, are you likely to feel comfortable at that school or feel that you're welcomed? If I walk into a restaurant and they tell me, we will not do this, we will not do this, you cannot have it your way, you will not have, I'm not coming back. And so, really looking at the way that we post information is important. So those are, how we're implementing at the school district level here in Clark County.